So it's like 9 in the morning, and we got this left how we did last night, just the 2 outside brackets, or 2 outside supports, I guess. So I gotta make one more support for the middle, and then attach 2 of them together, and then the other 2. So we'll keep this thing going here. So got all 3 of the main supports done now. 1, 2, 3. Now it might start getting tricky. It calls for 2 people for the whole project, so now we get into start balancing things and setting it up, setting the skeleton up. So let's see if we can do this. Okay, so back out at this well, and just to recap the current predicament, the submersible pump is in the bottom, but the wire came out that gave us the ability to pull it out. So all that's attached still is the garden hose and the power cable. And then we tried adding this shallow well pump, because there was 30 inches of water above the submersible pump. Even though it's dead in the water, there's still some water in there. So tried that yesterday, but it ran the water out so quick that there's not a constant flow. So that submersible pump is taking up like this much. So anyway, trying to figure out, or was trying to think of a way to be able to get a better grip on that submersible pump. Try to get it out without using the garden hose, because that's not much. I came up with this. So this is clamped onto here really well. And I got my headlamp on, so I'll be able to look down that tube. I'm going to go right alongside the I don't think we have enough. The submersible pump is too snug to actually get this around the whole pump. So this is going to go, I'm going to shoot for trying to get this, basically put the garden hose through here all the way down so it knows where it's going. It'll go around the PVC. I can pull the cable on the other end of this pipe, which is long enough to come out of the hole. Pull that tight, hopefully get a good enough grip, and then try to get it loose again. Okay. Unfortunately, can't really see what I'm doing there, but
just on the hose. Whew. I don't know. No luck. So yesterday I put a bunch of food in here, potatoes, onions, peppers, some other vegetables, and I also put a little thermometer in here. So let's take a look what it says. Oh yeah, and outside it is currently 73 degrees outside. It's great working weather, but definitely cooler down here. What do we got? 52. Nice. I think I'll have an apple. Alright, so little project. Wanted to make a twig stove out of cinder blocks right next to our little fire pit here. So I'm going to give that a go. Okay, so that's it really. This isn't really serving a function other than supporting a little bit of this, and this will work for airflow. So I'll show you how it all functions in a second. But so between adjusting this and the other two small bricks, you can constrict the airflow a little bit, which is coming through here, going up through here. So this is going to be our stove top right here, and here we'll get a different view. That's where the two little bricks are in here. So this is where we'll put, might even put a little spacer above here so that air can get underneath the fire. But other than that, yeah, you create a little fire in here, keep feeding it. This is extra space. This is extra space. I'm not sure how much this will heat up, if this would be possibly useful for something, if you're burning something for long enough. And then yeah, this, you can block your airflow, limit it, so it'll run more efficient. And then here's what the top looks like. So yeah, the smoke will come up through here. Put the griddle right up here. And that'll really burn. Might actually, yeah, move this around like this. Make sure we're getting all we can heat wise out of here. So, and then this is a little extra table space. Oh, yeah, not bad for less than $10. Good morning. So we're going to try out this cinder block twig stove this morning for coffee. Got water in here. Got this stuff ready to go. I got to fill this up and grind it yet, but and then added some spacers up top here also. So let's get to it. Let's see how efficient this thing is, or inefficient. Definitely feeling some heat up top. Looks like a little bit of a draft is being created by limiting the flow. Yum. So one of the things I want to do this trip is build a little bushcraft shelter for like overnighters once in a while, or just to hang out in the afternoon further back on our land. There's a few spots, but I'm going to take a walk around most of the perimeter here and just review those options, and taking into account the 2 deer stands especially. And so, yeah, it's a nice time to do that. It's like mid-afternoon, 3 o'clock. Just in case, I got this thing loaded up, 12 gauge, and also a little pellet pistol. So, let's take a walk and see what we find. This spot is, the placement of it, the location is pretty much in between one of the blinds, and you can maybe see the cabin out there. So, and it's nice that there's pine needles everywhere in this area. It's nice to be just close enough to the cabin if you need something, but still be quieter and more secluded. Another part of the whole thing that I should keep in mind is the distance between trees and the arrangement of trees around, as far as using for the structure itself, and how wide I want the structure. I'm thinking at least 8 feet wide, so room to sleep and room for several to sit. Swing this around. It's a pretty good view from down below as well. So, yeah. So this is the other spot I was considering, actually down there. just because it seems kind of charming to be bordered by water like that. But yeah, so right now we're on the side of the creek where the blinds are. There's one blind and feeder that way, like maybe 70 yards, and the other one maybe 60 yards that way, and they're both shooting into here, but none of them would be, they're so far apart that nobody would be shooting directly into here, although the boar and the hogs and nature and everything generally does run back up in there. So that's kind of a downside, is might discourage movement of animals, at least when I'm here. But let's get a view of what it looks like from down there looking up. Check it out from down there. So first off, not a ton of room here. Could move back a little bit. It's really a nice little view. Probably more so when spring is in full bloom. But it's also lower. It's not muddy, but it's slightly damp. So, I'm going to say no on this. Although it's the best view, and water's pretty accessible, not that we need it, the tree situation and lack of resources is just a little limiting. So, not really sure this is the right spot. We might end up doing this spot with all the pine needles in between the stand and the cabin. The view isn't there. The view there isn't quite as good, but it's more secluded. It's more on our land. It's closer to the cabin. Okay, here's the spot where decided to go with for the shelter. For my main front supports, I'm going to use this cedar tree here and this pine over here. So that's plenty long, almost too long, but it'll give a little bit of shelf space as well. So anyway, gonna take this out and this one in front of it. And get started on the probably the raised bed at first. First thing first. And that will be somewhere back here. So I'll have to think that through a little bit, yeah. But use these two for the main supports. We'll go with a tree across the top up here, and then everything else will lay on top of that. So yeah, we'll have a raised bed right here, long enough or wide enough for me, and then the rear wall will probably be like not very tall. Well, maybe this tall. You gotta figure that out too. But and then it'll go upwards. So we'll get going. Okay, knock these two trees down. These are just markers for here, but let's start clearing the area now. Feels fairly even. So I'll take this tree out in the back here, and then we'll make some stakes for the rear. Alright, we're going to try, see how difficult this is to plant it. Yeah, about right there.